started off with Washington at number 1. He was there when our nation's independence was won.
Jake's treaty sought to please the nasty British tyrants, and his proclamation of neutrality sought to end all alliance.
Adams' Alien Sedition Acts targeted less patriotic, while the XYZ affair proves French relations are symbiotic.
Jefferson buys Louisiana for $15 million, but refused the Barbary Pirates a single bill.
In the War of 1812, Madison finds British weakness, and in Hartford, Federalists list a grievance.
Monroe's doctrine warns Europe not to further colonize, and slavery is discussed with the Missouri Compromise.
Quincy Adams closes all U.S. ports to British. His tariff abominations makes the South a little skittish.
Jackson's Indian Removal Act pays the Trail of Tears. He recognizes Texas as the independent frontier.
In 1837, Van Buren deals with economic panic, and the Airstreak War ends before it becomes gigantic.
Henry Harrison dies after only 32 days. His only legacy is pneumonia and a really short reign.
John Tyler takes his place and annexes Texas, while the Ashburton Treaty guards against the British menace.
Jane Folk brings it into the Mexican War, and the Oregon Treaty becomes law from shore to shore.
Zachary Taylor sees the height of the Cali Gold Rush, but he dies abruptly before he does very much.
Fillmore swoops in and makes Cali a state. The Compromise of 1850 fuels the slavery debate.
Pierce's Kansas-Nebraska Act lets the people choose, while the Gadsden Purchase helps the Mexican tension diffuse.
Buchanan annexes Oregon and the Union grows, but then the South secedes and Confederates rose.
Lincoln leads through Gettysburg and Fort Sumter, while the South uses cotton to grow in number.
Johnson passes the 14th Amendment to help those oppressed, but Seward's Icebox Valley makes him subject to jest.
Grant's Hawaiian Treaty shows the U.S. got acquainted, while Credit Mobilier shows his presidency was tainted.
Compromise of 77 secures Hays Place. He sent troops to the Mexican border to keep Texas safe.
Garfield sends a treaty of Washington with Britain, but not much later. It's the dust that he's bitten.
Sir Arthur takes his place and passes the Civil Service Act, as well as Chinese exclusion to make sure that all white men's odds are stacked.
Cleveland accepts liberty from the French, while the Interstate Commerce Act tightens the government's clinch.
Harrison trespassed with the Sherman Antitrust Act, and the Pan Am Conference led to the Latin American contract.
Cleveland negotiates in the Venezuelan dispute, plus reverse Reagan makes separate but equal follow suit.
McKinley brings us into the Spanish-American War, then annexes Hawaii, Guam, Puerto Rico, and more.
Teddy Roosevelt speaks off and carries a big stick. His ordeal seems to solve domestic problems quick.
Taft-style diplomacy seeks economic superiority, while the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire shows safety and inferiority.
Wilson proposed the League of Nations to solve World War I, then his new freedom seeks to help us at home a ton.
William Harding is elected with the corrupt Teapot Dome, and the Emergency Quota Act refuses immigrants a home.
Coolidge's Immigration Act puts tighter restrictions. The Scopes Monkey trial tests Christian conviction.
Hoover signs the London Naval Treaty Act to reduce power. Stock market crash signals our worst hour.
FDR's New Deal seeks to resolve the Great Depression while World War II is fought after Japanese aggression.
Truman drops the bombs in Hiroshima, Japan, and debuts the fair deal as his domestic plan.
Eisenhower's ran versus board in segregation, while the Suez Crisis is a threat that shakes the nation.
The missile crisis tests JFK's ability to so scare. His new frontiers showed how he was culturally aware.
LBJ signed the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution while Medicare and Medicaid showed his Great Society's absolution.
Nixon ends Vietnam by taking out U.S. forces, while Roe v. Wade is passed with women who it endorses.
Ford pardons Nixon and causes a stir. Peace is declared in Lebanon, and the country concurs.
Carter wins a Nobel Prize for the Camp David Accords. The Energy Act shows what we should move towards.
Reagan goes for supply-side economics and tax cuts. The Iran-Contra affair shows he has serious guts.
George H.W. sends troops to Desert Storm, while his Americans with Disabilities Act shows awareness and inform.
Clinton resolves neither issue through the Dayton Peace Accords, while Family Medical Leave Act gives parents some rewards.
George W. Bush deals with the 9/11 disaster. He declares wars on terror to protect the U.S. faster.
Obama promotes healthcare reform with his horrible act and promises to remove all troops from Iraq.
Oh!